Get to the bag TV.
Well, I got this question, girl, and I know this is a little personal, but I really want to know this. Was there any moment where like he asked you to like do butt play or anything?
Honestly, he was real sensitive about anything near his butt. So I would say I'd
But
pass
he
on
did.
that one.
But he
But he
wanted to
was a little
twerk for
weird
you.
about he was weird about anything near his ass. So I'm not saying something happened to him, but I don't know.
But he
I
wanted
mean, a
to.
lot of guys
But he
get that way,
wanted to
but
up hang upside down and
he
clap.
wanted that. Yeah, he wanted to. I feel like he was closing his eyes. That's another weird thing he did. He closed his eyes when he was doing the upside down pineapple. Because I remember being like, and it was just like, you know what I mean? I know he. It's just weird. Like some of it was a little weird. Like he always had his eyes closed, and he always liked being in the dark. As I don't know if you saw the video, but most of it was with a flash. So that was another weird thing. Like when he do that position, it was always the light out, and when he was even up forward on me, it was like, with he had closed eyes. So things like that kind of like, made me think like those were kind of little red flags. But mind you, like I'll give you all my trust initially, especially if I'm financially invested. Then I'm like, okay, after 6 months to a year, there's nothing that is significant, it's just your whole loyalty scheme of things don't match, it's over. That probation period is done. Like, it just doesn't make no sense. But yeah, he was like weird about the nighttime. It was like,
So was it
yeah.
like conversations he got weird about his asshole, or did you attempt some shit, or like?
Nah, he was. Oh no. So I would say like for example, I go
Get to the
like
bag
pinch him,
TV.
right? Not like while we having sex, but I pinch him. He'd be like, oh no, like he literally like almost like out of his skin. So, which I'm not gonna lie, he was sent. From my understanding, he was sent out of prison. The only thing I could think of that is a little funky, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, if you're from California and you get sent somewhere here in California, like at least some people and connects in California, right? Like you're not at huge risk. But if you get sent out of state while you pent up, you at more risk. Am I right or am I wrong?
I believe he might have been in the feds though. So you're gonna leave the state. Feds gonna send you anywhere they
Yeah,
want
but I'm saying because he was out of state, some things could have happened
you. It
where
don't
he
matter. It don't
obtained
matter where.
this position of upside down
I
pineapple.
don't know about niggas learning positions in jail. That's new. I don't know. I
I'm
don't
just
know where
saying,
that shit come
like
from.
something must have broke him out of state.
So you're basically saying, so this is what I kind of hear you saying. So you're basically saying somebody slapped him on his ass and it was all because
I'm
that's what
saying
it's
he
like.
was out of state and he's not in his right mind in the new territory where the fuck he was sent. God knows, and it's in his book, right? Like, all I'm saying is he's not in California. He's sent out of state with a bunch of dudes that are
Get to the bag
like, I'm like,
TV.
something must have
Like
happened,
somebody
right?
pretty much
Like,
like
you had no protection.
somebody tried his ass. Like that's what that's what
Yeah,
you're really
somebody
saying.
he must have been picked on initially, and then he became the bully because and also he enables bullies. I'm like, he must have like obtained this kind of weird, like, and that's a lot of years to be pent up. Like, either people that come out of jail become really religious and really like straight, or a lot of them become really gay. So, it's like that's from my understanding.
So
So
at
I have a
any
question.
point
Do you?
did you
Oh, sorry, Andy.
at any point, girl, did you feel like the need to like be his therapist where you were like, listen, let's talk about this shit. Like,
There's
why
a
are you
reason
faking
why
every
I'm the
time I go for
only
your ass?
female that got he it was harder to crack me. So that's why he did the whole, oh, I'm gonna do that ring thing. I'm serious about this lifetime. No, it was like all about this, like you gonna retire early, like everything. That's why the whole Johnny Dang thing happened. He was like bragging about, I'm gonna take you to, and I got that whole big ass custom ring. And I was like, he literally, yeah, it was almost like he wanted to, it's like he purposely was trying to
Wait, so he
segregate
got
me
you a
off.
custom ring made?
Oh yeah, he got me a custom Johnny Dang ring, engagement ring. It literally says engagement ring on the slip.
Get to the bag TV.
I got a whole, like, and that's the one thing I walked away with was the ring and the appraisal. And I'm thankful to this day that the things I walked away with all have appraisal. Everything, I was smart. I wasn't like the other girls that wanted these, so-called $1,000 worth of Frenchy fluffy dogs. right? That he never cough up paperwork for because he want to control them even after they break off. Like I've seen that a few times. So I'm thankful that I was smart enough to be like, no, I want appraisals and I want,
So it
mine.
was pretty
Like,
much like this was like a polygamous type deal, like
yes.
with the other
So
girls.
he only told me he had like 2 girls out of state initially that were poly. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I could dig it. It's my first time doing like real poly though. So don't get me wrong. I've always been open. Like I'm low key. I feel like I'm bi. So like I've always had like friends and I've always had open relationships with people and I've always been open. But with him, these females, they were like he would segregate them and they were not poly. It was literally like the most false thing he had was like acting like these girls get along and none of them were capable of meeting each other because they all were trying to he was boyfriend pimping, so he was like, oh, I love you to each one of them, and then probably doing that position on each one of them, pineapple, rainbow pineapple.
Oh, he should have been an Israelite then, because I think the Israelites do that. They don't have their women mingling, but they literally have them like separate and shit. So
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
yeah.
saying. But they probably honest and truthful about it, and they probably not lying and hiding it. Because I found out
Get to the
so
bag
much more.
TV.
He literally he admitted to me in Hawaii, the last time I had ever was in Hawaii with him. He admitted to me, this is for the rental house or whatever he got with his son. He literally admitted to me that he had a child he didn't even know about, and she just popped up at one of his concerts, and then he found out through some messaging crap that he had a child he didn't even know. He was messy from the jump.
Damn, that's fucked up. So he had staged kids that he really didn't take care of. It was just basically about photos. He was shell shocked about his booty hole, and he liked to twerk on a handstand. Like that's girl,
Yeah.
that's the dance
That
back in the day. Booty popping
shell
on a
shocked.
handstand. Like that's what he was really doing. He was booty popping on a handstand for
Even-
real.
I heard you say earlier that he went from
oh my
the
gosh.
missionary position, then he did some type of twist around, and then
That part, it was almost like he was wrestling himself just to get in that twerk position, right?
okay.
A little-
And that's crazy for somebody to be so sensitive about their ass. Like, you're not quick to get in a twerking position. Like, and you didn't ask for that. It's not like we were watching,
that
Magic Mike
part,
and
they're
you're
not
like,
asking for it.
do that for me. Like,
Yeah, dude,
no.
seriously though, the not asking for it, that part right there, it's like, because that's why I only did it a few times, because I was not into it. I was like, and of course, the irony, and that's why I told, I was like, the timeline and everything was lined up universe wise. I felt like it was gonna happen. It was all meant to happen. Literally, when the Wack stuff happened, it was March 3rd, I think. But 4 days after that is when my whole grandma thing happened, and he claimed he spoke on his mom and then called him gay. And I was like, oh god, I'm like, I literally have this gay guy like saying other people gay, but you get what I'm saying? It's just like so much
Right.
of the whirlwind of things coming back around. But that's what happens when you bite someone that is actually loyal and you pan out to not be loyal
Now,
yourself.
did you ever have
Get
a
to the bag
conversation with
TV.
him? Like some things are seeming a little
Oh yeah,
suspect,
I
or
got a
like
text message from him when I actually sent the clapping video to one of these girls. He was looking to groom, and I sent it to her, and she was like laughing, like, "Thank you for sending me that." Like, I was like, "Yeah, just be careful." I'm like, he's gonna get you for your money, and then you're gonna be left on a corner. Like, you're gonna be sitting there like, "Damn, like that was a waste of time," right? So I was trying to help other girls get away from this because I was like, "Nah," like he's literally like ruining it for other dudes that do this. He's ruining it for them because good girls are going to be back off from this lifestyle when it's actually like goal wise you can accomplish a lot. So he ruins it, and I sent that to her, right? And she was like, oh my gosh, she was like, I feel bad because there's just he got mad at me though, and he was like, how could you blah blah blah, text me saying you got an ass clapping video and you did not send that, literally like all caps, right? Like just pissed. And I was
So
like,
wait, he didn't know you had the video.
oh no, he knew I got the video. He was pissed that I sent it to her though.
Oh, so he knew you had the ass clapping
Yeah,
video.
because I kept everything in the circle. I still, even as loyal as I was and how unloyal he was, I still even after you're unloyal to me, I kept quiet for so long and on the low about it. I get little spurts here and there when shit happened with my grandma, like on and off constantly for 2 years. But I finally I hit a wall, right? It's like, okay, fuck it. Like I was like, no.
So were you
So,
filming that? Were you the
oh
one
yeah,
that was filming it?
that was a POV.
Did he ask you to film? I mean, or like, how did that go? Like,
Oh yeah, he knew we was filming. He was on top of me, and I had the flash, everything. Like he knew what we was doing. I only had 2 point, but that was the
So
honeymoon phase.
that's probably what made him make the grunt noise, the loud grunt noise. He wanted to sound like
Talk about going
ASMR.
to the zoo, watching a bear in heat.
Because honestly, she didn't seem like she was too into it. One of the ladies made mention that it looked pretty, everything was kind of dried up.
Get to the bag TV.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know if she was
exactly.
into
The Picholet was not wet.
what she say? She said what?
that. I'm telling you, but the ladies were talking earlier, and we were like, well, not we, but they. We're saying that the stroke didn't look too deep, and it didn't look like he was making the ocean, splash at all.
Yeah, and I said the Picholet was not wet. Picholet's an Italian way of saying kitty cat. That's
Hey,
not
Fucking, I'm
wet.
Wax,
gonna
you
ask.
single?
Oh my God.
I
That's
am
the perfect person right
1000% single
there.
as a Pringle.
Nice
Right
to meet
there.
you. Nice to meet you.
But I live a very hyper independent lifestyle, and I'm not searching, not seeking. I got so much, this past year has been just accomplishment, trying to get. I'm just I'm on a mission, so I'm not really yeah.
Now I seen your story and you was talking about the eviction of this between the
Oh
sister
yeah,
and
the
shit. Like
sister. Yeah.
like what happened with that?
So the sister, I got texted this too. It's so funny. So what the whole argument was between both of them, and then I had to mediate, was the couch. So the dogs he had there, they was shitting on the porch, right? And his daughter Jada, right, literally was taking care of these dogs. I wasn't gonna clean no. I was never gonna touch no doo doo. Like not my thing. I don't even like touching the trash to take out. So he was like, the damn shit on the porch. He put bleach all over the porch and he went and shoveled that off the porch. There was a truck below the porch, some neighbor below the porch. It was these nice little condos in the Thomas Crossing. And let me tell you, after that happened, and then his sister's brand new couch there got ruined by the dogs,
Get to the bag
it was
TV.
over. And when he had the dogs there, it was like, I want to say the last month of I was there because I couldn't handle the dogs, right? I did the Cali Canine program with my puppy, and he's well behaved, right? But it's this guy in San Jose that runs this really great program for dogs. But I was like, his dogs were just foul, right? His dogs literally crated 8 hours a day. They let him out once or twice, maybe, and I was like, I would try to help out with letting him out.
Girl, I was
Because,
about to hold on, because I was hoping you was trying to let the dogs out at least. Like that's
oh, it
beyond.
was foul.
So he
I
was
didn't
just a
like
nasty
how.
nigga.
Oh yeah, he would literally, and I have pictures of tarp stuff I put underneath because they would go to the bathroom in the kennels in the living room, and that's what killed me. Was he would keep them crated for so long? It was like low key. It was kind of like animal abuse. I didn't like that, right? And that was the last month I was there, because once I seen how he was moving about that, and then how messy things got, and his sister was mad about the couch and the eviction, it was like literally like one thing after another. And I was like, I'm like, his sister don't even like how he lives. I'm like, this is not cool. The sister is a whole nother story. I just never understand why you think she literally compared her grandmother and mother on text, saying, don't compare my mother and grandmother to your grandmother. Mind you, I was making it known, like, I want this handled and corrected, like, before, you know what I mean? Like, I kept it in the circle the first year, being like, hey, like, the only one that gave an apology, which I gotta give credit, is the mom. The mom's the one that gave an apology for them, and that's what's foul.
And you all been broken up for how long?
It's been since it was 2024. Oh, no, my bad. It was 2023, the end of 2023.
So earlier, I also heard you say something about a double life. Like you feel like you live a double life, like messing with him, because you said you couldn't tell your mom.
Yeah, I have. So I kind of do that don't ask, don't tell lifestyle. Like I have a very double life. So my family all think I work for the Wii business. And, I do other stuff. Like I got adult entertainment stuff. I just keep things separated, right? I keep like my Facebook to family and friends, and Instagram is all the rated R, whatever, right?
Get to the bag TV.
So, did you ever hear about him mentioning Wack in front of you?
Oh yeah. So when it first happened, he came out with this music video that he was like, literally like, he jumped on this. That's what he does though. That's why I was nervous. I was like, man, I don't know. I was like, he came out with this music video about Wack. Like immediately after he was working on this thing, like it was a prized possession, right? Like, oh, you want to speak about my mom? But I'm like, dude, you live with a chick, a 304 that literally is like talked about my grandma while she was in hospice and after she died. I'm like, you're living with her, literally, like cuddled up, and you're saying he talked about your mom and you're making a music video. Hypocritical. But he does that. He does it for the clout, does it for the attention. Like he does all this for, to build
Yeah, he
himself
was
up.
just using. He was using my name
Oh,
for
he was
clout.
Yeah, because
straight
when you
using
talk
you.
about his mom, what do you say? Fuck your
He
mama,
was
get
u-
to it or some shit? Like, he
he
don't
was
even know
using
that.
my name.
Get to the bag TV.